Today's day 3 of Unit 6, Operations with Polynomials. Yesterday we talked about multiplying a monomial, so one term, into a polynomial, which is really just one or more. All right. The two that I want you to really double check are 9 and 11. If you got those wrong, I'm going to guess that you probably did like 5 minus 4 to get 1, and then you distributed. 7 plus 2, and then you distribute it. That is not how we do it. Remember, we have to distribute first, and then take care of that 5. Distribute first, and then take care of that 5. If you did distribute first for number 9, and you got it wrong, I'm going to also guess that you didn't distribute by a -4. So make sure you take a -4 and substitute that in, or else it will be slightly off. So we are going to continue with multiplication today, but now we're going to multiply two binomials. Remember, a binomial is just two terms, okay? So it's a two-term expression. So there's going to be two monomials attached by addition or subtraction. So two monomials attached by addition or subtraction, and then we multiply. So just to think back to what we've been doing so far, okay, because we've kind of been doing the same steps all along the way. So what we've done yesterday was we said we have to use the distributive property, and then you're going to combine like terms. Okay, so this is kind of the two questions I was talking about on your homework last night, that if you got them wrong, I'm going to guess that you probably didn't distribute first. Okay, so you're going to distribute like this. We have an addition sign, so we don't have to change any signs. So we get x plus 3x plus a 6. Remember, the arrows represent multiplication. So then we combine like terms, so I get 4x plus 6 as my final answer. But now let's look at what happens if we have two binomials that were multiplied. So if we have two binomials that we are multiplying, now we have to distribute both the x and 3. So this is called double distribution. Okay, so what that kind of looks like, so we do x times x and x times 2. Okay, so we get x squared plus 2x. Then we do 3 times x and 3 times 2. So plus 3x plus 6. Sorry. And then lastly, combine like terms. So usually your two middle terms are going to be the ones that combine. So we get x squared. I have 2 x's and 3 x's, so I get 5x and 6. So that would be my final answer. So what I want you to notice is many times when you have two binomials that you're multiplying together, you should usually get a trinomial. Okay, so again, this is called double distribution, but what a lot of us like to say is FOIL. Okay, so FOIL is just the first of each of these letters, okay, and we say first, outer, inner, last. Okay, so you multiply the two first terms in each of the binomials, then you multiply, and so there's going to be, we're adding each of these, okay? Should be a plus or a minus sign in between each of those. All right, then we multiply the outer terms, so the two outside terms in those parentheses, okay? and then we do the inner, and then we do the last. So let's do an example of what that might look like. Alright, so first one we have is y plus 8 times y minus 7. So I'm going to do first, gets me y squared. Outer, don't forget about that negative, gets me negative 7y. Inner gets me 8y. And then last gets me a negative 56. Okay? Now don't forget to combine like terms. So our final answer is y squared plus y minus 56. Okay, number 2. First, outer, inner, last. Okay, combine like terms. So a squared minus 15a plus 15. And again, first, outer, inner, last. Get it squared. Okay, so we get negative 12 minus 7r minus r squared. Also for number 3, if you want to rewrite this as a in standard form, remember you would just, so that would be negative r squared minus 7r minus 12. Alright, the next one I'm going to want you to rewrite. So this is actually equal to x minus 5 and then times itself. So x minus 5 again. Alright, so again, first, outer, negative x, inner, negative 5x, and last. That's a negative times negative, so that gets you a positive. So your final answer is x squared minus 10x plus 25. Okay. So, just in case somebody doesn't like that, the FOIL method, I'm going to show you one more method. Okay. This method, if you think if you think about, I think you do in genetics, so living environment, we're going to do a Punnett square. Okay, so this is going to be one box, this will be one box, one box, one box. Okay, so I'm going to do 1, okay, and then that's a plus h, and then I'm doing negative 1 and an h. So this, you can put a little plus if you want. Okay, and then remember, so the negative 1, so you do the column with the row. So this would be negative 1 times negative 1, so that would be negative 1. Negative 1 times h would be negative h, positive. H times 1 would be h, and then h times h would be h squared. Okay, so these diagonal, okay, if you notice, those can combine. Alright, but let's say on the off chance that they didn't, all you would do is you literally just write it. So negative 1 minus h plus h plus h squared, and then you would combine like terms. So these actually cancel, so I'd get negative h plus h squared, or if I spun that around, h squared minus 1. Okay. So notice that that answer was actually a binomial. If you look right here, since they're basically opposites, so if I were to rewrite this, it'd be like h plus 1 and then h minus 1. Whenever you multiply That's like the opposites, right? Plus 1 and minus 1. Whenever you multiply something like that, your middle terms, so your O and your I, are always going to cancel. Okay. Okay, so I'll do another one in that method in case you guys like that. Again, remember, you don't have to do this method. I won't ever ask you to do this method. All I'll ask you to do is multiply. So you literally just do whichever one works for you. Okay, -1. All right, so we get 6d squared, 3d, negative 2d, and then -1. Okay, so 6d squared plus 3d minus 2d minus 1, combine. So 6d squared, we have a plus 3 and then a minus 2d, so that just equals a 1. So plus d minus 1. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we are going to find the area. So remember, areas of rectangles or squares are basically just length times width. Okay, so all they're asking us to do is to multiply. Okay, so we have the length is 2x minus 3, the width is 4x plus 5. Okay, I'm going to go back to the FOIL method. Okay, so front would give us 8x squared. Outer would give us 10x. Inside would give me negative 12x. And then last would give me negative 15. Combine, so 8x squared minus 2x minus 15. Okay, and probably should do a little of this. Okay, so area. There we go. Alright, area of a square patio. So you might be thinking, wait, they only gave us one thing, but what do we know about a square? All the sides are the same. So this is basically like saying x plus 6 squared. So expand that into two binomials, and then FOIL. So first would give you, make sure you write a equals. First would give you x squared. Outside would give you 6x. Inside would give you 6x. And last would give you 36. So the area is x squared plus, combine, 12x plus 36. Alright, so now I want to find the area of, or the area of the shaded region. Area of the shaded region. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, alright, so I'm going to find the area of the big box. Okay, I'll do this. And then I'm going to subtract the area of the little box. Okay, so let's do it. Alright, so I'm going to get x plus 5 equals, okay, and x plus 5. So we'll do that on one side, and then we'll also do the area of x minus 1 times x minus 1. Okay, so first gets me x squared x, 5x, and 25. So this area is x squared plus 10x plus 25. Moving on to the next one. First, outer, inner, last. So a equals x squared minus x, negative 1, plus, times negative 1, sorry, is positive. X squared minus 2x plus 1. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to subtract. So I'm going to do x squared plus 10x plus 25. I'm going to subtract x squared minus 2x plus 1. So go ahead and rewrite that. So x squared plus 10x plus 25. Make sure you distribute that negative all the way through. This is what we did on day 1. So again, negative x squared plus 2x minus 1. Okay, so if I were to combine all my like terms, use different color. Okay, so if you notice, I have a negative x squared I have a negative x squared and a positive x squared, so those cancel. And then I have a 10x with a 2x, so that will get me 12x, and then a 25 minus 1, so plus 24. And that is my area. Okay, so all I'm going to have you do now is your homework. Okay, so homework is 10 through 15.